Well, that sets up debate number one on the news hour this evening. NDA or the UPA, what has changed? Because the thorny issues remain. It's not an acne. And when Kiran Rijiju says that, no, we are not like the Congress, it's a little hard to believe. Good evening to our guests, C.R. Keshavan of the Congress, Nalin Kohli of the BJP, K.C. Singh, former Secretary of the MEA, Maruf Raza, Strategic Affairs expert, and also good evening to Professor Madhu Bhalla, who's a professor, Department of East Asian Studies at the Delhi University. First question to Mr. Nalin Kohli. What Kiran Rijiju said, that we are unlike the Congress, the NDA government, somehow in this matter, especially China, doesn't cut ice, Mr. Nalin Kohli.
Well, actually, Anand, that may hold true for many things because, we need to understand that the questions that the BJP raised at the end of a decade of a tenure, 10 years when an 8-year-old child ended up voting in the 2014 election, that's what a decade is entitled to ask if there is no action. This is being asked of us at the beginning of a tenure, which is, I think, probably less than, almost close to about 4 months. So certainly, what has changed is the government showed its intent immediately, which was evident when the Prime Minister addressed the nation along with the Chinese President and said, I've raised the border issue. I don't recall a single instance where the Prime Minister of India in the last 10 years, before Mr. Narendra Modi, said anything like that, was on a platform where he said something. Things have changed.
Yeah, Mr. Nalin Kohli, today, this evening, the Congress and also the likes of Maruf Raza and K.C. Singh and Professor Madhu Bhalla would want to counter you. But here's the thing. At least the lines should change. Now, I'm just going to quote what the Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh said on July 2014. Along the border, incursions along the border take place due to the difference of perception about the boundary. How is that different from what Mr. Salman Khurshid, the then External Affairs Minister back in November 2013 said? But of course, incursions are occurring in the context of a different perception of what the line of actual control is and where it should be. So the lines are also the same.
Absolutely. Well
Position
said.
is also the same.
Question.
Position is also the same. So where the aggression goes out of the window?
No. Yes.
So
I'm glad
what you were when you were opposition?
Because the difference is... No. I'll answer that, Anand, because the question is valid. Point is, this is a historical legacy. And that's exactly what the inheritance is. The question that comes is the government going to do anything? And is the government doing anything? And that's exactly what is the point we are trying to say. A lot of things were said about everything in this country, but economic growth didn't take place, it declined. Many things, so you just don't keep saying, yes, this is the problem. The question is somebody working to solve the problem? And it could have been done. 10 years is a long period of time. That's the basic difference between doing and only speaking. Right. In this case, speaking and doing both happen together.
Are they happening, C.R. Keshavan? Are they happening? Because on the one hand, they say the border issues will be, there has been discussion on the border issues, and the next moment we see 1,500 on that side, 1,000 on this side, the face-off intensifies, civilians, army, everybody being positioned. And then you have the Chinese president saying, be ready for a regional war.
And there are two issues here. First, we look at it in terms of national interest. Then I'll look at I'll tell you what the problem with the BJP government is. First, let us always understand whenever there has been a high-profile visit, whether it's Hu Jintao in 2006 or Li Keqiang, as Premier on his first visit in 2013, when Depsang happened, and even now, the Chinese have a pattern, of one-upmanship and having these intrusions and infiltrations. This has happened before. It happened even during the UPA's time, and it's happening now. But the question and the difference is the approach. And I want to collect Kohli very clearly here. Mr. Manmohan Singh took a very strong stand with Mr. Li Keqiang when Depsang happened. And even when he went to China, he strongly condemned it, saying that there's nothing, nothing will go forward unless, you settle the disputes in an amicable way. But I just want to point out 2 points here without interruption. See, look at the way the BJP government has handled this. First thing, the problem is they've gone overboard. Trade and commerce, we have to be careful here. Trade and commerce cannot be a substitute for, national security. Look at the way, the people of the Northeast were not let into hotels where the Chinese president was staying. Even the employees of the hotel
were
barred from coming as the
That's a lie.
No, let me complete.
That's a lie. And that's another example. Yes, it's a lie. That's why I'm interrupting you, Mr. Keshavan. Because that is incorrect. Just as always, as the Congress party doesn't do its homework. That's absolutely been denounced. There's an official press release of the party on it. incorrect. Please go to BJP and check it out. You are incorrect, Mr. Keshwan. You are incorrect as you have been for most of it.
Now, Mr. Nalin Kohli, you've made your Mr. Nalin Kohli, well, you've raised your objection. You've made your objection evident. C.R. Kesavan, go ahead. What's point number 2?
The Intelligence Bureau is probing it. So there is a problem. And today, the Nagpur speaker, who is also part of the NDA, has condemned it and said it's an insult and a humiliation for the people of the Northeast to be
right. You made a point. Second point.
The speaker said this. No, second point. Second point is this. Most important. You have to see, today the incursions have escalated that the army chief has not gone to Bhutan. He's cancelled it. And the incursions and infiltrations are happening in such a brazen and blatant way. And what do? We make, they have a Gujarat press conference where there is the Arunachal Pradesh. The Arunachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir have been shown by the government of Gujarat in the maps as they're in dispute and in a way. And what I'm saying is this, that the timid and faint-hearted approach of this government has made the Chinese
sometimes Mr. C.R. Kesavan, with all due respect, with all due respect,
let me complete one point.
You've raised your point. With all due respect, I'm going to go across to our other panelists also who be quick rebuttal Nalin Kohli, and then I'm going to go to our other panelists because both the Congress and the BJP, both political parties or both governments today stand a little exposed as far as their position or the inability to deal with the China's position is concerned. But Nalin Kohli, quick rebuttal to what Mr. Kesavan had to say.
Yes, absolutely. First of all as always, the Congress is high on rhetoric and low on facts. If you don't have even the time, visit www.bjp.org, see the official press release, and I'm just going to read out 2 sentences from it. During the visit of the dignitaries, staff working in the Hotel Hyatt from the northeastern region were present in the hotel doing their respective duties. In fact, one of the main chefs who catered the Chinese delegation was from the Northeast. The person in charge of the main banquet was a lady from the Northeast, etc., etc. Last sentence. We strongly condemn the false news being propagated by Western interests in tarnishing the image of Gujarat. Well, I mean, just exactly.
Right, you know what?
I said you are
Mr. Nalin Kohli and Mr. C.R. Kesavan, the issue right now, it is not about what happened to the people from the Northeast in the capital. Please, Mr. Nalin Kohli and C.R. Kesavan, I'm going to go across to Maruf Raza and KC Singh. I request both the Congress and the BJP to please wait.
But I can't help it. That's exactly
Professor Madhu Balla, I'm also coming across to you.
The country wouldn't be
now,
where it is.
Mr. Kesavan and Mr. Nalin Kohli, I request you to please maintain some decorum. Let's bring in our other panelists also. Mr. Kesavan, please wait on. Mr. Kesavan, please wait on. Now, Mr. KC Singh and Maruf Raza, good evening, and Professor Madhu Balla, good evening. Now, Mr. KC Singh, my question to you is, if a minister from the Congress calls this problem a problem of acne, then the BJP cannot dismiss it. They were upset at that point in time that it is not acne. But now in the case of 334 incursions this year, and with the Chinese president on Sunday telling the PLA, be ready to combat a regional war, and the MOS home coming out and saying it's not such a big problem, they're not talking about India, then who is China talking about? So with both the governments, are they taking this problem seriously?
One is the partisan. One is the partisan bickering. It's inevitable that this is a national problem. Dealing with China, it didn't start yesterday. We've had it from the 50s. Whoever is the incumbent will have to essentially face the same problem and essentially have the same kind of solution. You can package it differently. You can receive the Chinese president differently with a little more flourish. You can sit on the swing and swing with him, but ultimately the fundamentals take over. And the fundamentals are that what was happening up in Leh took away from the build-up to the visit and the outcomes from the visit. Very clearly, there's a dilution that came about. And the Chinese have always done it, as has been mentioned earlier, in case of other visits, but never was it coterminous, never was it simultaneous, that the visit was taking place and they did it, because you had no option. You couldn't send the president of China back, so you had to encounter it. Now, the second thing is the meeting which took place in China. I think we should look at that in a slightly different context. I don't think that meeting was India-specific, because you cannot summon the PLA top brass at 2 days' notice. They met last Sunday.
Yes.
And what he has said, the full statement is, PLA should be prepared for a regional war in the context of information and technology. Now that doesn't just apply to India. Probably it applies more to US or to Japan because they're using cyber warfare and they're using electronics as part of their military operations. But nevertheless, it is a signal to India too, because China has a problem with us. It has in the South China Sea, the air defense zone. It has over the Senkaku Islands with Japan. So the Chinese president is sending a signal to the PLA. There is some promotions he's making there of some of his favorites. There is some shake-up, and that is where he's talked of loyalty to him. And he's also been purging some officers based on corruption. So there is internal shake-up taking place in the PLA. Part of that is internal. There is an external signal which we should not ignore, and that is why I think Government of India, considering the Defence Minister is unwell and the Prime Minister is going to be away, has probably cancelled the visit of the Defence.
No, but what message is China sending out, KC Singh, and I'm going to go across to Maruf Raza on this. What message is China sending out?
Yeah, one last. The message is very clear. Message is very clear that they're going to have forward patrolling up to their perception of line of actual control, and they're going to contest your build-up of infrastructure. So they are becoming more.
So we allow China to contest it. Maruf Raza, we allow China to contest it. Is it no? I'm going to go across to Maruf Raza now. Is it something that we do not know? Yeah. What has been done to because everybody points fingers at everybody else. ITBP army says we want control of ITBP. ITBP is not doing its job. Border roads are not building roads. But everything is about guarding our borders, isn't it? Isn't everybody working in the interest of the country?
Anand, see, I mean, Mr. KC Singh has brought out some very valid points, and so have the two distinguished speakers before that. Let me try and sort of put a slightly different context to it all. The first thing is that we have to change Chinese perception about us. Now, let us not get into bickering, and let's not try and say who got it wrong and who didn't. I mean, we all know the history of Sino-Indian relations, and we all know people by and large who are seen to be the culprits of the humiliation of 62 and beyond. But the point I want to make is 3 or 4. The first is China has a tendency to push its luck on territorial claims with its neighbors till the neighbor stands up to China. As Mr. KC Singh said, on the Senkaku Islands, they've been doing it. I mean, I saw an interesting photograph in a magazine said, are these two countries going to go to war over these pieces of rocks in the ocean? In the South China Sea, they're claiming that they were there from 250 BC onwards, and therefore the South China Sea belongs to them. They've got historical angles to everything, and they are just sticking to their line. Now the problem, that's the first problem, is that we have done nothing to alter Chinese perception, with the exception of 2 events in history, that was in 67 and 1986-87 during Sundarangchu and Nathula, where military commanders took it upon themselves to browbeat the Chinese back, and they pulled back. What is happening right now, whether you call it a previous legacy, whether you call it currently the government is still to articulate and formulate a more aggressive policy, we are basically in South Block carrying the hangover of the past, where the whole approach is that don't upset the Chinese, we'll kind of talk our way through with it. Remember, Krishna Menon boasted that I will outdo the Chinese in a verbal dialogue, in a debate. We don't need to fight them. I'll fight them verbally and see what happened. So there's one. The second point is, why is China doing it? It'll be instructive to read the book by Martin Jacques. It's called When China Rules the World. China wants to bottle and box India into the subcontinent. It's created Pakistan as another North Korea to counter India's growing might and influence. It is going to wait and watch very carefully after what Modi Saab has achieved in Japan and our president has achieved in Vietnam. They are very wary. They're going to wait and watch very carefully how the US visit of the Prime Minister pans out.
They don't look very, Maruf Raza, and I'm going to go back.
Anand, let me complete. Anand, please let me complete. What I'm trying to say is that until the visit of the Prime Minister to the US gets done, the Chinese are going to push and push, because if India doesn't accommodate Chinese interests, they're only going to get more aggressive.
So my reminder is
that the 62 war 52 years ago happened in the months of September, October. The Chinese find this weather conducive to use everything they've put together since 1996 on the Ladakh and the Tibetan plateau, and
Maruf,
they are going to try and muscle their way into our territory. We must get together comprehensively to put together a national response.
Right.
I'm sorry, right now there are 3 ministries involved and they're all divided over how to approach the Chinese.
Right. You've raised a lot of points. I'm going to go across to the BJP and Mr. Nalin Kohli after we get a word in from Professor Madhu Balla also. Professor Madhu Balla, is this true? Is China using this as pressure tactics? Is there merit when the president says, we've got the muscle power, India has the wisdom?
I think the story is somewhere in between, you know. I think this whole situation in Chumal is part of what the Chinese did in Depsang as well, which is really a policy of assertive, reactive assertivism. They tried this in Vietnam, they tried this with the Philippines, it has worked. And essentially it is meant to change the status quo on the border. So this is one part of their tactics on the border on disputed areas, whether it's maritime or territorial. The other thing about a regional war is a completely different picture. I think a completely different issue. I think if you recall, the Chinese have been talking about reorganizing their military structure ever since the defense papers of 2012, 2013, etc. And beginning this year, they established a new Security Council. I think within the framework of that Security Council, they have been reorganizing their military regions and they have been trying to create military force commands. Now, I think part of what Xi Jinping said to the PLA conference on Sunday was very much part of the reorganization of the PLA. It had nothing to do with Chumal precisely or with fighting a regional war with India. Essentially, though, we need to be wary about how the Chinese are also reorganizing their military and what that portends. But that has nothing to do in the immediate sense, I think, with what they have done in Chumal. Chumal actually has to do with Xi Jinping's view that the LAC should be, no, just 1 second. Yeah. Just 1 second, that the LAC should be dealt with quickly. I think he's the first president who has said that we must deal with it now. Deng Xiaoping didn't say that, Hu Jintao didn't say that, Jiang Zemin didn't say that, but this is the second time in India.
But is this how they want to deal with it, Professor Balla, and that's worrying?
If they are going to... has to be dealt with quickly, then positions must be taken.
No, positions I'm going to go back to the BJP on this, Professor Balla, because what you and Maruf Raza are saying
status quo
is worrying for the country, because if the Chinese are realigning their military and their army, their defense, and they're also going to be assertive, so then what's the point of talking and saying no, we have engaged and we are consulting with the Indian government and we'll talk it through? Because if you're going to talk it through, why position 1,500 troops at our border, and that too on our side, Nalin Kohli? So are they trying to say we are going to come till here and then set the terms? All right, stop here, and this is what you get.
That will change the debate.
Troops are always found amassed near the border, so that's really the issue.
No. I don't think that's a conclusion you can draw from that.
Border, there is a dispute. And I think what Professor Balla was saying, or what Maruf was saying before that, and Ambassador Casey saying, everywhere there's some truth or the other. It is a legacy, it is a problem, these are all reality. It's been raised forcefully, and that's clear in front of everybody. As they were pointing out, it's being acknowledged that we need to move towards some kind of resolution. That's there also. But I think the most important thing is that in all this din, and when the BJP Congress get down to it, then of course all reason will go out, because the Congress will make wild allegations.
No, let's not go there. Let's reason it out, Nalin Kohli.
Today, that's what I'm saying. Today, what Mr. Akrubuddin said of the Ministry of External Affairs, he said, when the question was asked of him, he said that there is some quiet work happening, and whatever the work will happen, to find a solution.
But quiet work at what cost, Nalin Kohli? And the civilians in that region, in Demchok and Chumar and in Chushul, they
finish my point.
No, if India is doing a canal project, who are the Chinese to come and tell us don't do it?
Then you can scream your head off as much as you want.
No, one sec, Mr. Keshwan.
So let me just finish my point and scream.
Mr. Keshwan, just hold on.
Do it after I finish my point.
No, my question to you, Nalin Kohli, is...
It's not a CWC meeting, Mr. Keshwan. Let me finish my point.
Play. He is waiting on. Nalin Kohli, let's get to the real issue here. Nalin Kohli, my question to you is...
How would anything happen
Nalin
still
Kohli-
serious people.
Nalin Kohli-
still seriously talks
Nalin
happen
Kohli-
in a structured way.
The issue is
And 1 minute, hold on. The other thing,
Mr. Keshavan, Mr. Keshavan,
Look,
if
I'm not
this
being able to
happens,
finish
nobody is
my
going to
point. Why
get
don't
a
you
word
hear
in.
Mr. Keshavan first? He's
No,
rather keen to speak.
but Mr. Nalin Kohli, you have to get to the point rather than trying to provoke the Congress into getting into a heated debate with you
Well,
or
I'm
trying to
trying
get
to
into a big.
answer it with
No,
Mr.
you're not
Keshavan
trying to answer the
disturbing my
question. My
point.
question to
Why
you,
didn't
Mr.
you
Nalin
hear him
Kohli,
first?
is
He must be very
when
keen to speak.
if Maruf Raza spoke about Krishna Menon and he said that we will talk the Chinese down, you had Mr. Arun Jaitley also say in April 2013, in view of the UPA's handling of the Chinese relations in the wake of repeated incursions, he said that there were various options available for a government. I am not for a moment talking about confrontation, but there are instruments of diplomacy available to the state. What instruments of diplomacy are we talking about, and how do we believe that it is working? Because when on the one side the government says, oh, we are engaging in talks and there will be a resolution, a consensus that's been arrived at, and on the other hand, all that you're seeing is sustained build-up of troops. The Chinese actually coming and pitching tents right next to where the Indian perceived territory is, right next to where there is a canal project that is being put out by the locals and by India, and telling them you stop the canal project, otherwise we won't go. They're bringing their civilians in. Now all this is happening, and on the other hand you're saying we're talking. How do we believe this?
No, hold on. You asked a good question. Well, I mean, it's your prerogative whether you believe the government of India or you don't.
No, we
believe
what we see.
That's your prerogative.
We are seeing troop build-up. We are seeing the army chief cancel a trip to Bhutan.
Entitled. I'm not fighting about that. I'm merely telling you that I can't take away your rights. However, let's go back to the question you asked. And the question you asked is basically that what are the diplomatic options? Can you please tell me on a single occasion where publicly the Prime Minister of India has told the President of China in no uncertain terms, and that's followed up by the statement that he reads out, that this is a matter of concern and it's acknowledged. Now, if that's not a diplomatic tool, then what is? I mean, what do you think a diplomatic tool is? Picking up a bazooka and
But with all due respect, with all
timid and faint-hearted approach, you need to let me come in because the Prime Minister has been given assurance by the President.
Yes,
but what
Mr. Keshav.
happens? The problem is this. No, the timid and faint-hearted approach of this government.
Why don't you, I mean, perhaps since you are the expert at it, and we have inherited 56 years of a goof-up policy, why don't you tell us what is the solution to take us more into the depth?
Have been increasing from inches to miles. Inches to miles are the incursions and infiltrations happening in a brazen way. People talked about depth and
What were you doing for 10 years? Were you sleeping the sleep of Kumbharan?
Prime Minister came in
Tell me honestly, Mr. Keshavan,
what is happening
were you in slumber or hibernation in the last 10 years? With all these bright ideas that you are telling me now after 4 months,
don't try to divert and digress
your
here.
talents could have been utilized in the first 4 months
let me tell you one
when the
thing,
UPA was elected in 2004.
This is the tactical
Right.
diplomacy.
Nalin Kohli,
The difference between the UPA, let me complete.
Yes,
the
yes,
difference
Mr.
between
Keshav.
the UPA and the NDA.
Well, there is a difference,
UPA
thank God.
always had a
Nalin Kohli, just wait on,
strategic restraint. No, let me complete.
Yeah.
Strategic restraint, calibrated, aggression and, measured steps and deft diplomacy marked the UPA's foreign policy. But what
Glorious inaction is considered strategic
Well, what marked, Mr. Keshavan, with all due respect,
glorious inaction is considered
Mr. Keshavan,
I like your words, Mr. Keshavan.
About China.
Well, Mr. C.R. Keshavan, Mr. C.R. Keshavan, what happens is in this case, the Congress is defending the indefensible because it was the UPA government's external affairs minister who called this entire problem of incursions nothing but acne. So we don't know.
Incursion here. It's been 13 days. There is no historic president where a sitting president is here. And
well, I guess by your standards we need to say
see
from a border issue,
right?
What happened?
Now, Mr. C.R. Keshavan, the fact is there is no precedent in the UPA government where the Prime Minister openly addressed the issue of incursions and he got an assurance, even though verbal, from the Chinese president. But Maruf Raza, moving away from our political leaders on the panel here, going back to Mr. K.C. Singh and Maruf Raza, the issue is the Chinese president might have acknowledged the issue of incursions and that the border issue has to be resolved. But what has he done about it? What we would have wanted to see, Maruf Raza, is the troop deployment easing, the civilians backing off and both troops backing off. That has not happened. So the Chinese certainly are not walking the talk.
Anand, see, the current government, the BJP-led government, has a lot of diplomatic achievements to the last 100 days they've been in power. But the devil is in the details. And the details here require to have a more clearer understanding of the situation in the ground. And I'm sorry to say that not enough is being done in terms of articulating what India's capabilities are today. There is a perception problem in China. China views India still to be a straggling country, not good enough to catch up with the Chinese economically. But China must be made to understand that despite all the cacophony of noises in India, including the cacophony of noise on this channel, India is capable of a comprehensive response in the long run if India decides to put its act together. That message must go out, that any further incursions, and if they don't withdraw, the damage to the Chinese troops and the punishment to them would be far in excess of the incursions they take on. China respects might. China doesn't respect passivity. That's the first thing. And the second point which I wish to make, that to the credit of the UPA government, let us acknowledge that there was awareness in their last days that yes, we need to have a more aggressive response to the Chinese, and therefore they sanctioned the strike corps. Therefore, they sanctioned the building of border roads, which had been neglected for a long time. We are still far from fully prepared. But let me assure you and the country, my understanding is, in the event of China doing muscle flexing, we are capable of hitting them pretty hard, especially in Ladakh, because they are at the teetering edge of their logistics chain. They cannot stretch themselves very much further. Well, we are showing matured response, but a message must go out to the Chinese. Enough is enough. Push back.
But these are the facts. These are the facts. Intelligence reports say that China is now capable of inducting rapid reaction force formation into Tibet for operations against India or for internal security duties within 48 hours. Can India respond to that? Even now, the troop build-up on China, their approach, their logistical build-up is far greater than India is.
Building up a division every 36 hours on the Tibetan plateau. But let me tell you, when you have to fight an offensive battle, you need in mountains something like 10 times more troops than you are going to face. We have enough troops in place. China cannot trod over Indian territory. It is not.
But they are doing it at the moment. There have been 334 incursions by the government's own data and admission. What has been done about that, Maruf?
Is capable of holding its own, China or no China.
It's okay to say that we are ready and we can face China. But we know that we are working from a weaker position, Mr. Nalin Kohli.
The government has not had a full-time defense minister. What are they talking about? They've never had a full-time defense minister. And why are you surprised with the incursions? You don't have a full-time defense minister right from the start of this government.
Perhaps Mr. Keswan
That's
has
the
an
importance they
identity
give the national interest in security.
I didn't realize his name was Nalin Kohli. If I may answer, then you can ask a question to Mr. Keswan too. I think I'd like to take the debate first further to what Maruf was saying, because there were some substantive points he was making. I think the same point could go ahead. Thank you for raising the defense point, Mr. Keswan, is that the armed forces do require a lot of intervention in terms of equipment, in terms of even ammunition. If you'll only go by what comes out in the newspaper, we don't even have enough ammunition to take care of, artillery stuff for 20 days or 30 days. So a lot of things need to be done, and the government is going to obviously take those decisions. So therefore,
you don't have a full-time
who is
defense
asking me the question? It must be Mr. Keswan. Nobody else
infiltration.
disturbs on this panel. Who's asking me this question now in between? Is it you, Anand, or is it Mr. Keswan, as I expect?
It's the way you interrupt people.
Right, Nalin Kohli, that was C.R. Keshavan asking you don't have a full-time defense minister. What are you going to do to fix the problems that still remain? Be it the baggage that you're carrying from the previous government, or what you've not been able to achieve in the last 100 odd days.
He brought the army also literally to its knees. I mean, if it wasn't for corruption and therefore the other side was non-buying of any equipment. So one of the largest armies, Air Force, Navy and all was brought to its brink.
Mr. Nalin Kohli, with all due respect,
full-time defense minister as Mr. Keswan.
With all due respect,
came to this country.
With all due respect, the concern is, are our borders safe? Can we guard our borders from Chinese aggression, because they think they can willingly walk into our area and pitch tents and get away with it?
Our thumbs in virtual inaction, which is called glorious restraint, as Mr. Keswan would like us to believe.
So tell us, sir, what's the solution? Where is the solution? What happened with all the bonhomie with the Chinese president? Why has it not translated to action down on ground? Is there a straightforward answer to that, Nalin Kohli?
I don't know whether. I really don't know, honestly speaking, whether, we are proposing war or are we expecting...
No, we're not proposing war, but where are the results, sir?
Asked him to return.
Where are the results, sir?
I don't think that is really the way to approach it.
Anand,
No, well,
Anand.
Certainly, a baby is born in 9 months. You may desire to have a baby born in 24 hours. It's not going to happen.
No, that's not the case, Mr. Nalin Kohli.
As
Mr. Nalin Kohli.
Singh clearly said, it's taken
Anand,
56
is it unfair to
years
expect
for the country to come to where it is today?
No,
from the 1950s right up to here.
No,
and you're
Mr.
expecting
Nalin Kohli,
solutions
please
in
ask.
24 hours. It's not going to happen. It's not realistic, and it's never going to happen.
Mr. Nalin Kohli, is it not even realistic to expect that when the Chinese president, for the first time...
That's exactly what I'm saying.
No.
Till sustained efforts are made, which Narendra Modi's government is doing, solutions won't come. Solutions to problems don't come by just desiring them. They come when you work at them. And that's true for anything. Economy,
Agreed.
corruption, price rise.
Not even challenging you there. But the question to you, Mr. Nalin Kohli, is, before I go across to Maruf Raza, the question to you, Mr. Nalin Kohli, is that when the Chinese president acknowledges Narendra Modi's comment that the border issue remains a concern, and he is very well aware of what is happening in Chumar, what is happening in Chushul, and what is happening in Demchok, wouldn't you wanted to have seen a response there immediately down on ground, which would have been absolute recognition that the India and China are talking? But that's not happening. What's happening is on the contrary.
Well, I would.
You might want to say it's isolated, but it's not isolated for the people of the country because they are seeing what's happening there.
Fair enough.
It's not about what somebody is talking.
Anand, your question is fair. No, your question is fair. But I won't arrive at any hasty decisions or conclusions so fast. A visit has taken place. There have been positive aspects of it. This has been a matter of concern. Let us wait. I don't think we should draw any conclusions yet. Let us wait.
No, the point is that all the other visits and all the other talks have also not materialized. Nawaz Sharif, Narendra Modi happened, the foreign secretary level talks got cancelled, whatever be the reason. He went to Japan, he came back with $35 billion worth of investment over the next 5 years, but the nuclear deal fell through. So we don't know exactly whether the talk is actually working, Maruf Raza.
I'm sorry, you're using incorrect words. Some ground was made on it. It hasn't concluded yet. There's a difference between the two.
Anand, I can't believe the lackadaisical way in which the BJP is reacting to this. The army chief has cancelled his trip to Bhutan because of the incursion, and they're taking that, let's relax and see how it pans out. This is a question of national security. When the incursions happened during the Congress...
No, I'm merely telling you that the government is working. Mr. Keswar, the government is not holidaying abroad as, mostly the leadership used to. I just want you to know, there's a Prime Minister who works.
Your red herrings are pathetic. You're talking about national security here. When the incursions happened, in 2013,
so why are you going fishing now?
Led by the BJP.
Where are all these headings coming from here? Stop fishing. Let's get down to the point.
When the Prime Minister along with the Rashtrapati received the Chinese president, incursions were still happening. Is it the way to run, the national interest of a country? I think the BJP should be ashamed.
I wish you were around from the times of Mr. Nehru to Indira Gandhi to Rajiv Gandhi, Narasimha Rao, and Dr. Manmohan Singh and Sonia Gandhi was the de facto Prime Minister.
No, please.
So I wish your grand advice was available to so many eminent people in your party.
Natullah rebuttal happened in 1967 during the Congress time.
And perhaps if Prime Minister Nehru had more time instead of romanticizing with what reality is, he wouldn't have had this problem.
Well, Mr. C.R. Keshavan, the simple question to you is, why do you have to go back to the 1980s to show that something happened in a Congress regime? Why can't you tell? Because
I'm talking about now.
What happened between...
The Congress party, as I told you, Anand, in the last 10 years, we had a very calibrated approach. We didn't go overboard, placing,
Inaction is calibration. That's funny, Mr. Keshavan.
Which is what they did.
Inaction is calibration.
Something did not...
This is so funny.
Mr. Modi ji, we give him credit. No.
Mr. Keshavan, something went awfully wrong with the calibration. Because if the calibration was right, then you would have been in power. The Congress would have still been in power. Maruf Raza.
That's an amazing use of language.
Raised the issue with the Chinese president. What is the response of the Chinese after the Prime Minister has raised this issue? What happened to the assurances? Why do the incursions still happen?
At least, Mr. Keshavan, there was an assurance. There was an assurance on Indian soil by a Chinese president. It's not happened in the UPA regime. Maruf Raza. Yes, Maruf Raza.
You don't have a full-time defense minister to answer.
Mr. K.C. Singh coming across to you.
That shows your interest.
Mr. K.C. Singh coming across to you in just a bit.
Anand.
Mr. K.C. Singh coming across to you. Yes, Maruf Raza.
Me too.
Yes, Professor Bhalla, coming
Okay,
across
let
to
me
you.
sort of put things in historical context right. Sir, just let me make 3 or 4 quick points. The first is that Mr. Kohli's point about whatever response they are giving to the Chinese and whatever was expected out of the Chinese president's visit, it's quite clear now, not much has emerged as per the expectations. However, my humble request to you, sir, and to your party men is, please do not de-link national border and national security with economic activities as was the case in past with the Chinese. They have to be told,
Right, Maru.
you have to have access to the Indian market, you have to behave on India's borders. That's my first point.
Yes.
The second point is, the Congress spokesperson said that Nathula and Sundarangchu happened in the UPA and the Congress-led government's tenure. Let me tell you, in both cases, it was military commanders who took the initiative. The politicians were dithering. Go back into historical records. The third point I wish to make,
we do
that
appreciate
Mr.
that.
Kohli made, that the army doesn't have enough equipment because of the delays that were done in terms of purchases. And yes, the wish list of the armed forces hasn't been fulfilled because they have a tall wish list. But the armed forces still have 20 to 30 days of WWR, which is good enough to fight short, sharp battles, and that is what the subcontinental environment will provide us. Finally, my last point is that we haven't done enough, even now with the new government, to alter Chinese perception about India.
Yes.
They still seem to see us as an argumentative people with incoherent foreign policy. We have to get across a message to them that we are collectively behind the Prime Minister and we will take steps in the national interest, even if they are seen to be detrimental to diplomacy, as some diplomats might be worried that all the good work of the last 30, 40 years will go down the drain. China understands military muscle flexing. We have to do a bit of that.
And they believe that they have more of it than India does. Very clearly, even if you go by what the Chinese president had to say. Professor Madhu Bhalla, I appreciate your patience. Do go ahead. You had a point to make.
Yes, my point is, why does everything degenerate into a war cry? Right now, what we're looking at on the border is what has been happening on the border for a very long time, right? And basically, it's a positioning of both our armies, both the Indian and the Chinese armies, trying to resolve what we think is the LAC. I think we have a political process in place where our special representatives are talking about the border. I think there's some urgency both from Narendra Modi as well as from Xi Jinping on resolving resolving the border issue. I don't think we need to let this degenerate into a war cry.
No,
and
but
start
then
to pile up our arms
why
and
is
say,
it?
okay, we can win a short
Why is the
war, we
true
can win a
build-up
long
happening?
war against
No,
the
Professor
Chinese.
Bhalla, the question
First of all,
is,
I
if you
think this is not a
believe there is political
no,
engagement,
it's not a situation.
No, Professor Bhalla, if you believe there is political
Well, I
engagement,
explained to you
why is
why
the
the
true
true-
build-up happening?
Yeah.
If there is political engagement, why is the
This
true
is a
build-up happening?
prelude. No. This is a prelude to political engagement. No, this is
Are
a
you trying
prelude
to say
political
escalation of
engagement,
tension at the
political,
border is prelude to
dialogue,
political
because on
engagement?
the
Why should
table,
that be a precursor?
Whatever the news.
Why should that be a precursor?
This
No,
is
no,
not,
just
this
because-
is-
just
no,
because
no,
two-
1 second, please. This is not my words. I'm not saying tension on the border has been escalated. No, 1 second. As I said before, this is a recreation of the status quo. This is a change of the status quo as far as the Chinese are concerned. We don't have to accept that. We should actually protest against that. But the fact of the matter is that is a limited tactical objective that the Chinese have. The Chinese do not have the objective of walking into India at this point, nor do they have the objective of starting a war on the border. I think we should understand that and bring some reason to this debate.
No.
The other thing, of course, is that we have to contend that, and we have to also say that our status quo is the one that we adhere to. But these are positions we will then bring to the table with the special representative.
But this is a long-stated
really, I
position.
don't think we should
You
be in a
yourself
position
said,
of
Professor
starting
Bhalla,
war
Professor Bhalla,
crimes
you
in
yourself
India.
said this is a long-stated position. This is a long-stated
not.
issue in terms of perception of the line of actual control. Why should it be now? Especially, the question is, when you have two heads of state sitting across the table, acknowledging the issue of the border, shouldn't there be a de-escalation of troop mobilization at the borders, just to show that the political network is in control of what's happening with the army or with the forces, or there is a translation of the talk down on ground? That is not evident. So who do we trust? What do we trust, the walk or the talk?
Well, perhaps perhaps our assumption that Xi Jinping is in complete control of the PLA is not entirely true. I think if you look at that, his speech to the PLA commanders meeting on Sunday, first thing he said was the PLA has to be loyal to the party, which means that there are some questions there about loyalty to the party on behalf of the PLA. There has been a shake-up of the PLA, and I think Xi Jinping is still doing that shake-up, which merely means that perhaps he is not able to completely control the PLA and direct them as to exactly what should be done on the ground. I think you need to give him some time. He has said he will look into the matter and he will do something about it. I'm not espousing the Chinese position. All I'm saying is that I think we are giving too much power to Xi Jinping within a transitional phase of the reorganization of the PLA itself.
So what is Professor Bhalla saying, Maruf Raza, here?
We must take that into account, which is not to say that we must not keep insisting that the Chinese move off.
No, but is this what, a Pakistan-like situation? That the government or the ruling head of state has no control over the army, and is that a similar situation in China? Because then it is double trouble for India. No. What do we look at, and who engages? Who do you engage with then?
Well, Anand.
No, please, no.
Anand, you see,
no, I think that would be the most foolish comparison to make.
So if that's not the comparison that we should make,
I don't think China is Pakistan. I don't think Xi Jinping as the No, that's not the comparison you should be making. Completely. I think Xi Jinping has consolidated his power and authority in China, but I think there has been a shake-up in the PLA that is still been undergoing. PLA is still undergoing, and I think we should give him some time to sort this one out at his end.
No, sir. Time at what cost and for what? Because this issue of peace is worrying. The issue about our borders being, China asserting its presence at our border is worrying. And these reports are increasing, Maruf. Yes, you had a point to make.
Anand, I'd like to agree with the professor generally, because the point she's making is what I've made since morning, that if President Xi is said to be as powerful that he is, apparently people have been writing to say that he's the most powerful political leader they've had since Mao Zedong, then why is the army operating as a separate entity outside his control?
Exactly.
Or is it part of a larger Chinese orchestration wherein President Xi had promised the Chinese a double dream, which is, I'll make you wealthier and I will claim all historical heritage of China and make it stronger, which implies, eating up territory. Now, what has happened in Ladakh prior to this incursion and prior to last year's incursions, on both occasions, senior political and military commanders visited the forward post. Last year in August, it was the Politburo members. This time, it was the vice chairman of the CMC. So therefore, quite clearly, this is an exercise which is happening with consent at the highest level, may not be by the president himself, but others who are trying to sort of test his power base. So there is a bit of a struggle happening internally in China, but certainly China is not Pakistan. I mean, China has moved away, and China is clearly, the Communist Party is supreme. It was never a military dictatorship as in Pakistan with men on horseback. But China has had a different model of governance. The only issue is that the Chinese military is equally aggressive for a variety of reasons. And I don't want to list that out because of time constraints. But primarily territory, their status in society, getting more weapon systems, justifying
what happens in China is China's concern. What happens at our border is our concern, Maruf Raza. And if you're saying that the president is in control, then it has to reflect at the border. If Narendra Modi and the NDA government is in control, it has to reflect at the border. Because as a viewer, and I'm speaking for our viewers here, that the tension at the borders have to de-escalate for us to believe that India and China are making headroads as far as border is concerned. Acknowledgement on the one side, action on the other is more important.
Anand,
we are winding up.
Anand, that is why, Anand.
Yes.
That is why, Anand, I am saying a certain amount of military muscle flexing at a tactical level will give the PLA commanders on the ground.
But right now, Maruf Raza, the muscle flexing is actually happening from the Chinese side. India is only reacting. It is not being proactive. It is not setting the terms. It is just following what is happening, and it is reacting to what China is doing, and that's not encouraging, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
And Professor Bhalla, thanks for joining us. I've got to wind up this edition of the debate number 1 here on the News Hour tonight. We're running out of time. Thank you for joining us.